Hey, today we have two stories from relationship advice. One has to do with a man being sexually harassed at work. One has to do with the fallout after a breakup. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Here we go. This story is called Best Way to Tell My Early 30s Male Coworker, Late 30s Female to Back Off. Update after comments. I work for the local school district. Because of the pandemic, my position has evolved into basically a kitchen worker. My coworker, who I will refer to as Jane, has been the overbearing, blunt, flirty type since I met her. I've had suspicions she was into me for a while, but passed it off as her personality. At this point, I'm pretty confident in my assumption she has a crush on me. It started as small things like comparing my looks to another male coworker and shoehorning the size of her boobs into every other conversation. Now it's progressed into things that are really starting to bug the shite out of me. For some context, I have PTSD. As a result, I'm uncomfortable with loud noises and physical contact. She likes to squeeze past me, putting her hand on my back or side as she does. When I move away from her, she will either make jokes about me being jumpy, or act like she's taking it personally that I'm running away from her. My other coworker has even noticed and told her out loud that I don't like being touched. She doesn't get it. She's also done things like try to check my back pockets for a marker by lifting the back of my shirt. Her excuse was that she always gets them from our other coworkers' back pockets. Within the past week or so, it seems to have progressed even more. Somebody dropped a metal dish and it startled the hell out of me. By reaction, I stated, "Frick me." Her response was, "I would if I wasn't afraid of your wife." This irked me because what I said out of temporary distress, not as a joke. And yes, I know that statements like that are a bad habit. What has bothered me the most, however, is a conversation that happened a few days ago. She was talking to our other coworker about getting together for drinks with her and her husband. She then extended me an open invitation to join them sometime. She then made a joke about whether my wife would let me. Our coworker jumps in and says my wife should come along, then goes on to talk about other couples that could join. Jane's attitude quickly changes and complains about how she doesn't want to feel like a third wheel. I get not wanting to feel like that, but what should that have to do with me being married? If I were to come alone, would she see me as her date? So now I ask, how do I get through to someone like this in a non-confrontational one-on-one discussion? In this job, I've learned that lunch ladies will talk about anything and everything, which I'm cool with. I'm not a stick in the mud, and I don't want anyone else to walk on eggshells by openly accusing one person of going too far. Plus, she's been there for 13 years while I've been there less than 2 and make way more than everyone else hourly. I can't guarantee my position if it were to become an upper-level problem. Above all else, I'm just not that kind of person. I believe in handling things at the lowest level possible. I'm just unsure of how to get through to this type of person without creating any kind of drama. Comment 1. First, make sure your wife knows this is going on. Second, talk about your wife more often in front of her and your love for her. Make clear in your discourse your wife is the only one you are interested in. Realistically, there will be some drama, but if you want just minimal drama, just ask her to be more reserved. Tell her you are a prude and the talk bothers you. If she doesn't get it, then you have to go to your boss. You don't want things to escalate. Comment 2. Okay, so if you were a woman, we would all jump and say just report it or tell them bluntly you do not wish to be touched, and when she says these kind of things it makes you uncomfortable and please stop. But you are a man, so here is my advice: report her to HR or tell her you do not wish to be touched or spoken to in that manner. Seriously. Harassment is harassment, it doesn't have as a target just one gender. I am a woman and I would tell you that you have every right to tell her to F off. But since you want to be a gentleman about it, just tell her one-on-one that this really makes you uncomfortable and you would like to avoid this kind of interaction. Comment 3. This is sexual harassment. If you read this story, but a woman was describing a male coworker lifting her shirt to get to her back pockets, touching her while passing, other staff are noticing it's weird, and making sexual jokes. The comments and advice wouldn't be so passive like they are here. Talk to your supervisor or HR. You are allowed to say, "Don't touch me, you're making me uncomfortable, I don't like to be touched," whatever, but you shouldn't and do not have to. Do people encourage women to confront their assaulters? I don't think they do. As a woman, it bothers me when society passes harassing behavior off as okay or no big deal because of gender. Maybe all she needs is a stern "stop touching me," but I would still advise your bosses and HR so this doesn't get turned back on you when she really figures out you're not into her. She's being a creep, so who knows what else she's capable of. Update. So as luck would have it, a solution fell into my lap a couple days later. One of my coworkers made a joke about my wannabe girlfriend. I basically ignored it by rolling my eyes. Nancy, the one who told her to stop touching me before, goes on to explain that she really does want me. I confirm that I've noticed. I then pull her off to the side and ask her to do something to get her friend to back off. She then explains that both her and at least one other coworker have called her out on it, and apparently Jane has a habit of getting revved up over anyone with the proper equipment. Long story short, she took the situation more seriously than I hoped by going to our boss, who took the whole situation less seriously than I feared. Together they decided to tell Jane that people that we work with are starting to ask questions. They told her that it puts me in a very bad position with not only my wife, but the district, since my specific position puts me under the same rules as teachers and administrators. I wish I had have thought this myself, instead of asking for help. Since then she's been quiet and kept conversations strictly work-related. An additional upside is that her school schedule has made our work schedules overlap less. It's unfortunate that we'll spend less time just goofing around, but I'll take this over being in a constant awkward position. Comment 1. Glad it worked out. I had a similar situation with a colleague years ago. I made a complaint to the manager and everyone knew what was going on. When nothing was done, I asked to change shifts so I didn't work with her anymore. On our last shift together in the morning, it was a night shift, she began crying when the day staff came in. I wasn't sure what was wrong, so I asked her and she started shouting and screaming and me not wanting to work with her anymore. I sent an email to my manager that day quitting. Over the course of about a year she made comments about us sleeping together on night shift, that I was sleeping with patients, it was a care home, and that she was going to have my child. She was considerably older than me and was mentally unwell, which everyone knew. By far the scariest situation I've ever been in at work. Comment 2. Hey man, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but what was stopping you from telling her to back off? Like, hey, it's pretty obvious you're flirting with me and I don't want this, so stop. Isn't it that simple? Comment 3. I'm glad it all worked out for the better. In the pre-COVID world, I would have told you to find another job. These days you have to do what you have to do just to survive. I'm glad things are getting better for you at work. I hope it continues. This story is titled, I 22 female took my ex's bills out of my name. My ex and I used to live together, the bills were in my name. He broke up with me officially 1 week ago. I sent him an email saying the bills would be out of my name within a week. Today, I called and shut off the power at the apartment. It would have taken him a quick 10-minute phone call to reactivate the power in his name. He sent me a text message off of a text-free account and asked me if I switched the bills out of my name. I said yes, and then I blocked the number. He proceeded to call me off of multiple different numbers. I blocked them all. He sent me an email saying this is one of the slimiest things I've ever done to him. He said frick the $500+ he owes me, and he will never speak to me again. He also called me immature, emotionally abusive and manipulative. I don't understand what I did wrong. Am I really manipulative and emotionally abusive for taking the bills out of my name? The email he sent me was one of the most hurtful things he's ever said to me. He fell out of love with me, he had no desire to salvage our relationship, I was trying to protect myself by blocking him. Now, not only do I have to cope with the loss of our relationship, I have to cope with the fact that he absolutely hates me. I didn't mean to hurt him. Should I have gone about it a different way? My heart is literally shattered. Comment 1. Get your money back. If you gave him advanced warning, he should have paid attention and taken steps to move the bills. Instead, he used this opportunity to blow up on you and make you the bad guy. Now he gets to steal from you and be the victim. Nifty trick, isn't it? Comment 2. If you're not living there anymore, you didn't do anything unreasonable. He chose to end things. Surely, he had to have accounted for the fact that you wouldn't make yourself responsible for the utilities any longer. Sounds like you dodged a bullet. Comment 3. I mean, you told him he had a week to get his shite in order, and he didn't do it. 100% his fault, 0% your fault. His feelings don't deserve your consideration. I know you're still dealing with the emotional fallout of being dumped like that, but I hope that, in time, you'll come to realize you're better off with this guy out of your life. Comment 4. I see nothing wrong with how you did it. You let him know you would be taking your name off the bills. He should have acted like a responsible adult and called the utility to reactivate. I would have reminded him in my response that I'd told him that was happening. Might consider blocking his email as well, unless you have other outstanding things that need settled. I'm sorry your heart is broken right now. Take care of you and don't worry about him. Comment 5. You did nothing wrong removing yourself from accounts that supporting his life. He did you a favor sending you the email about his debt. If you live in a locale with small claims court, that email and your testimony is all you need to get a judgment in your favor for any monies he owes you. Just bring bills, receipts, emails, and other evidence of how the debt came to be. If there's no small claims, a lawyer will write a demand letter for $50. Then you can send your debt to collections and let them harass him if he won't work things out. Good luck. Comment 6. You did nothing wrong, he's just browbeating you because he didn't expect you to follow through on your plan to remove your name from the utilities. He had time to switch them and didn't and is blaming you for his failure. Comment 7. I understand your mentality completely and I know a lot of people are saying to take him to court. The biggest question is whether you want to or not. When me and my abusive ex broke up, he did something similar. He took my last paycheck out of our joint account before I could get the new account set up with direct deposit. It was around $500. When I asked for it back, he absolutely lit into me, including demanding the engagement ring back. I had email proof of him admitting he took it, as well as him saying I could keep the ring. I guess he originally thought he could drop me and I'd come crawling back and got pissed when I didn't and changed his mind. My whole family got on me about taking him to small claims court. They said I should have absolutely demanded the money returned and argue to keep the ring. The thing was, it wasn't worth it to me. I was so hurt and emotionally spent that the idea of having to face him in court over it was beyond unappealing. I sent him back the ring, cut my losses and blocked him from my life. And you know what? I never regretted it. It's a choice you have to make for yourself and your own mental health. It's hard for people who haven't been there to understand what you're going through right now and the complete mental and physical toll it can take on you. Do what you feel you must. But from someone who has been there, sweetie, it does get better. Do not let him pressure you into doing anything for him or let anyone pressure you to do something to him. Forget him and focus on yourself. Do things for you that you love and maybe couldn't with him. Sleep in the middle of the bed. Binge watch your favorite shows with your favorite snacks. Take long bubble baths. Make yourself your favorite meals. Hell, get a cat or a dog if you always wanted one. Bottom line, focus on you. You deserve it and deserve a life not thinking about this asshole. Thank you so very much for listening. Please check out my other videos and like and subscribe.